All right, looks like we're live. I think we're live.
Yep, I just got the notification.
All right, guys, what's up?
Gonna just
Blockchain investing, how you guys doing? This is yours truly, King Ridzen, coming back to you live, and yours truly, Crypto
Hey guys,
Asmeret,
happy Monday.
Semere.
Happy Monday. Let me change that to Crypto as a.
How was your weekend, Crypto Azzy?
It was great. Just relaxed, enjoyed the sunshine, did some more research and crypto research, watching the markets, catching up with some friends. All good. Just loving the sunshine.
I feel like you're always doing crypto research. Every time I talk to you, you're doing some crypto research. You're pulling up.
Always. Always, it never stops. I have dreams. You don't understand. You simply don't understand how crazy it is. I get dreams.
I think you're more obsessed with crypto research than I am with charts. Like I thought I was like obsessed, but like every time I'm taking a break, like man, I gotta step away from these charts. I hit you, hey, that's what you're doing. Like I'm doing
yep.
Like dang, man. That's
I see coins talking to me. I'm losing my mind.
Nice. Well, welcome everybody. Come on in.
Welcome, guys.
You know how we do it.
Happy Monday.
How's everybody's weekend? Good morning, Chris. How's everybody's weekend? How's everybody doing?
Morning, Chris.
Just waiting for everybody to start getting the notifications a little bit and come on through. Yeah, I know it's Monday. I know we do this. We talk about the markets. We talk about what's happening. We talk about all of this stuff. Hey, Marcellus, what's up, man? Good morning.
Marcellus, hey.
What's up, Ito?
Marcellus in the house.
Yeah, I know it's not official unless Ito's here.
Ito. Crypto Nation.
David. Good morning, man. Good morning.
Good morning, David.
How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a cool and enjoyable weekend. So we're gonna talk about this cryptocurrency. You know how we get into it. So Asmeret, why don't you start us off? Any new developments, news? I know there was a pump in price. We was kind of expecting some type of pump. So anything going on? What's happening behind those curtains? What's up?
Yep. So I'll start with the main news with the CME futures expiring. So as you guys may have followed, Bitcoin fell below $6,000 for the second time in a week now. Like the first time was on Sunday, the 24th of June, and the second, it was just this Friday gone on the 29th. And the day the CME group, the Bitcoin's future ended their last day of trading for the month, then we saw the crypto markets make gains the next Saturday, following the expiration of the contracts the day before. So I know some of you guys, because some people have hit me up on this as well. So some people hear it in the news and they've asked, what is futures? I keep hearing about it, CBOE, CME, what does this mean? So I'm going to break it down for you guys. So future contracts, they're an agreement to buy or sell an asset on a specific future date at a specific price. So once the futures contract has been entered, both parties, they have to buy and sell at the agreed upon price. It doesn't matter what happens to the actual market price at the contract execution date in the future. So as you can imagine, a huge variety of industries that are prone to many types of risks, they use futures. And the goal is not necessarily like to get as much profit as possible. Sometimes it's just a risk management tool to hedge against decreases in price or increases in price. So it's often used in financial markets to hedge against the risk of these changing prices and volatility. So these are assets that are bought and sold on a regular basis. So and it's also used to in portfolios to balance out any price fluctuations as well. So especially whether like the underlying asset is volatile. So these contracts, the CME, CBOE, and investors, institutional investors in particular, these are negotiated and they're traded on a future exchange, and the future exchange like the CME and CBOE, they act as the middleman. So there's two positions that you can take on a futures contract. It's a long position or a short position. So if you take a long position, you agree to buy an asset in the future at a specific price when the contract expires. When you take a short position, you agree to sell an asset at a set price when the contract expires. So I'll give you an example. So a good way to explain this would be using the example of an airline who wants to hedge against the rise in price of fuel by entering a futures contract, right? So let's say jet fuel, it trades at $2 per gallon, and an airline is expecting the price of the oil to rise. They buy a 3-month futures contract for 1,000 gallons at the current prices, and then the contract therefore is worth like $2,000. And then in 3 months, if in 3 months when the contract expires, the price of 1 gallon of jet fuel is $3 instead of $2, the airline has just saved $1,000. So of course the supplier will be happy, they happily enter into a futures contract in order to ensure a steady market for fuel, even when the price is high. And then the same contract will also protect them if there's, the price of fuel unexpectedly drops. So in this case, both parties are protecting themselves against the volatility of fuel price. And then other investors also speculate with futures contract rather than using it as a protection mechanism. So they will deliberately go long when the price of a commodity is low, and then as prices rise, the contract becomes more valuable, and then the investor could decide to trade the contract with another investor before it expires at a higher price. So how does this relate to Bitcoin? So the futures are not just for physical assets, they can be traded on financial assets as well. So with Bitcoin, the contract will be based on the price of Bitcoin, and speculators can basically essentially place a bet on what they believe the price of Bitcoin will be in the future. So in addition to that, so it enables investors to basically speculate on the price of Bitcoin without actually having to own Bitcoin. So this basically has two major consequences. So we saw from late last year to now, with the launch of these futures, first of all, like Bitcoin itself is still unregulated. And if Bitcoin's future can be traded on regulated exchanges, this definitely would be good news for those that are concerned about risk that are related to industry's lack of regulation, right? And the second, in areas where where the trading of Bitcoin is banned, Bitcoin futures will allow investors to still speculate on the price of Bitcoin. So it's basically a Bitcoin future works exactly on the same principles as futures on traditional financial assets. So by guessing whether the price of, trying to work out whether the price of Bitcoin will go up or down, speculators would either go long or short on the Bitcoin future contract. So with Bitcoin, for example, if a person owns 1 Bitcoin and it's priced 18,000, which at some point it was late last year, and they see that the price will drop down in the future, which it did. To protect themselves, they can sell a Bitcoin's future contract at the current price of 18,000, and then close to the settlement date, the price of Bitcoin, along with the price of the Bitcoin future contract, would have dropped. So the investor now, let's say, decides to buy back the Bitcoin's future, and if the contract trades for $16,000 close to the future settlement day, then the investor has made about $2,000, and then they basically protected their investments by selling high and buying low. So this is what these guys have been doing. The institutional investors or anyone that could afford the spot prices at the time. They've been entering these contract futures, and it's basically how a simple example of how Bitcoin futures work, and it does depend the future contract on, it may be a bit more complex depending on the exchange, because there might be minimum and maximum price limits as well. So going back to the CME, if you guys you're not aware, it's short for Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the Chicago Board of Trade. So basically, it's an American financial market company, and they operate options and future exchanges. So they're based not just in Chicago, but they have places in New York City and facilities in London as well. And it's the world's largest futures exchanges. And they first launched Bitcoin futures December 18th last year. And then CBOE, they launched their own Bitcoin futures on December the 11th. So if you remember, at the time, the price of Bitcoin was over $19,000. And then at the time, the crypto market was about $800 billion as well. Now, with the CBOE, the Chicago Board Options Exchange, and they're the world's largest options market. So these contracts are focused on individual equities, indexes, and interest rates, and so on. And the key difference between the CBOE and the CME Bitcoin futures is that the CBOE contract represents 1 Bitcoin, whereas the CME contract, it represents 5 Bitcoins. So the CBOE, they settle its future against the daily price auction from Gemini, the exchange, and the CME, they use its own Bitcoin reference rate, and they track it from several crypto exchanges. So despite all these positive announcements and regulatory developments that we've been hearing about, and the developments in, more infrastructure coming in and custodial accounts being created and so on, the overall crypto market, it endured basically like a month long. It's been on a downtrend since its peak last December 2017. So since the launch of Bitcoin futures, it has been experiencing a slow and steady decline. It's over 70% in price, and the rest of the market basically mirrors Bitcoin price movement downhill. What was interesting is in May, the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, they released an economic letter, and it basically suggesting that Bitcoin's decline since its $20,000 peak in December was the result of the launch of Bitcoin futures trading. So we definitely can see like the effects of futures trading periods on Bitcoin's price, and it does impact obviously the market sentiment. We've seen that just today, a few days ago, and throughout the course of this year and late last year. And also similar deadlines to the CBOE as well. It's said to have basically suppressed the price growth of Bitcoin as well. So regardless of the impact of the CME and the CBOE, however, with the Bitcoin futures contract, we have to step back and look at the bigger picture. I'm going to sound like a broken record over the next few months, but we are still on track for the crypto market to undergo a major growth long term. And I will also touch upon the comparisons, because that's another aspect that we're hearing in the news, linked into what we're hearing with the CME and CBOE Bitcoin futures as well. So we are seeing like cryptos and blockchain technology overall is being compared to the dot-com boom in the 1990s, and it's capitalizing on this new opportunity to speed up the pace of technological developments, and basically we're creating a new digital economy with every decade, and so remember, in fact, I spoke on this on Friday when I was discussing the long-term research update and where we are in this journey compared to previous technological cycles. And I gave comparisons with the NASDAQ market. If you remember, I said the tech stock boom, it went through a 26-year uptrend, and it started back in 1971 and it continued until 2000. And throughout that cycle, there were four four bear markets, and they lasted 1 year or longer. So there's like a 87% correlation between the Nasdaq market, the Nasdaq of 1990, and today's crypto market, but it's moving at a much faster throughout the cycles. It's moving much faster, and it's basically achieving adoption in about half the time. So the value of the Nasdaq investment exchange, it increased fivefold between 1995 to 2000. And then when the dot-com period crashed, it was about 78% from the peak to the bottom. And now, currently, we're seeing that Bitcoin is down 70% from its peak price, and it kind of places it in the range of the dot-com bust. So there's similarities there. And you have to look at also the projects. Some, projects died. I know some projects in the crypto space died as well. It's the nature of the beast, right? It's gonna the market efficiencies. So while some projects have died during the time, it gave birth to giants like Amazon, eBay, Google, YouTube, Facebook. We take it for granted. But back then, people saying all sorts of things. It seems unrealistic. It wouldn't work. People never buy stuff online. It's ridiculous when we hear it back now. Hindsight is 2020, right? So we saw guess what happened? The Nasdaq recovered, right? And then now online marketplaces and social platforms, they're the norm. We take them for granted. And what was interesting is a similar sentiment. Let me see. First of all, the Apple co-founder, Steve Wozniak, and then another guy called Wenger, they made comments in regards to the 90s dot-com bubble. And they said the projects that will emerge from these early stages in the sector, they'll prove more significant, and they will be impactful and lucrative. So of course, with any project, there's a high chance it won't work, and then but they also said as a result the rewards will be high. So this space, as compared to traditional markets, of course it's more volatile, of course it's untested, but it's super exciting because they're literally pushing the frontier. They're literally like, when we had the gold rush of the in California, people were taking risks. There's no guarantees, right? But we're seeing in the space, there's so much investment coming in, even though it doesn't feel like it. It may not, may not see it in the price right now for several reasons. It is literally going to bear itself out over the long term. So, what was interesting though, Wenger has said, the amount that you raise in an ICO or in a traditional way for the space, it's not going to be a great predictor for success. He said, very interestingly, like, these projects are also being pulled off on a lot less money, right? So we know that the lesson here basically is that change is inevitable with technological progress, driving the frontier forward, and each development is basically like a chapter in a bigger story. And crypto story right now is still being written. And of course, we're going to experience the ups and downs. This is how the game is played. But we have to keep focused on the future. That's what the big boys are doing. That's why they're getting ready to come in with their billion-dollar, trillion-dollar capital, and setting up custody accounts and working to establish regulatory practices. So we have to keep looking at the larger picture. So on top of that, there's been some bullish news out from Union Square's Ventures. So they were quoted as saying blockchain might be worth trillions, right? So I know we keep seeing this, but where is it? Where is it going to be reflected? How long do we have to wait, right? So on the 29th, on Friday, the Union Square Ventures, they basically put their intentions out. They're going to come in and invest in blockchain and crypto related businesses over the next 10 years. Do you see a pattern there? 10 years. They didn't say 10 days, 10 months, 10 weeks. They said 10 years. So Albert Wenger, so he's the managing partner, and he said investors are rational. They're pouring a lot of money into the sector because he thinks that people are ready, that they're seeing the winning blockchain technology is going to do, and that it will be worth a couple of trillions over the future. So they haven't got a fund set up. They've put out their intentions, and the bear market is still pushing out weaker hands. But we are witnessing this as fact. It's, we're seeing it reported on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Institutional capital is getting in position to capitalize on the opportunity for the long term. So despite market sentiments like going crazy and falling, and we're seeing major financial firms, they're joining the cryptocurrency sector at a greater pace than ever before when we look back. So we know it's becoming clearer by the day, like the speculation fueling this industry. It used to be like the wild, wild west. It's actually going to slowly come to an end, that crazy period where you have so many scams, so many ICOs being launched, so many investments. It's because the space now is starting to be replaced by legitimate market forces. They're coming in to try and clean up the space. Of course, it's for them, for their benefit. We know that. But actually, I do believe that this will have a good impact overall, especially to help the adoption rate. And then on top of that, another bullish news that came out was Andreessen Horowitz. They're launching. In fact, they've launched $300 million crypto fund. This was on the 26th of this June. So they're basically they're going to be going. Let me see. They've been investing in crypto for 5 years, for the last 5 years. So, as more funds join the sector, it's definitely likely worldwide adoption, and the applications of crypto will start to come into place. So, so this was. Let me see. I'm just trying to remember what. Oh yeah, that's it. So Andreessen Horowitz, I'm so sorry about the pronunciation. They're one of the first to invest in major companies leading the technology sector today. So including Facebook, Airbnb, GitHub, and Coinbase, right? So they were founded in 2009, and it's a private venture capital firm based in California, and they're basically expanding towards future the future of digital assets, and they've basically mentioned that they mentioned something else as well, that their strategy will be hodl. Yeah, they did say hodl over the long term. So they said that they have an all-weather fund, so they plan to invest consistently over time, regardless of the market conditions. And if there is another crypto winter, I don't watch. Is it Game of Thrones? Or I don't watch any of that. I hardly watch TV as well. So there's an expression, the winter's coming, right? So if there is another crypto winter, they said, we'll keep investing aggressively. So you can't get more bullish than that. And they will continue, like they have plans to offer more support services as well for projects at all stage of development. They're going to have expert management and legal advisory, and they're basically also going to look beyond short-term returns of ICO, and they'll invest only in projects that have long-term applicable use cases. Again, that's what we're seeing is the trend with experts that are advising to take a long-term approach in this market. So, I mean, they say that they're definitely working on different areas, and and that their value, the crypto tokens, they said that their value would be driven by the underlying practical use cases. So that's really important. The ones that will survive will have prototypes, protocols, they'll have working products, and it will be applicable to real life scenarios and make sure it works there, because the rest of them will likely die if there's no use for them over the long term. So that's been the news so far. There is more. I could literally go on all day. If you want me to continue, I can. But yeah, I also, just to touch upon, actually, maybe I should mention this a bit. Microsoft team, Microsoft did team up with Ernst & Young to launch a blockchain-based DRM for Xbox. I'm not sure how many of you love to play games, and I used to own the black Xbox a long time ago. Stopped playing now, but they're basically joined forces to launch a blockchain initiative that will basically bring digital rights and royalties management onto a distributed ledger network. So it will happen within the Xbox gaming ecosystem, and across different game publisher partners as well. So what they're basically looking to do is disrupt the huge portion of the gaming industry. So it will, if you think about how many, like, the royalties that they have to distribute and via licensing, I mean, they handle millions of transactions daily, and so that equals to like something like remittance of billions of dollars in royalties every month. So it's very lucrative, and they're basically going to streamline the process. They're going to reduce, make it more efficient and bring the costs down with their system. So effectively, basically, they're going to strengthen security, transparency, payment accuracy using blockchain technology. That rhymes. But yeah, there's more, but I'll stop and give Yusuf a chance to talk.
I mean, no, you're sharing a lot of valuable information, so this is great. I mean, I'm kind of like a one-trick pony, so everybody knows I'm gonna do the chart. So all these things that you're covering on the news and fundamental aspect, that's extremely important, extremely valuable. So, please share whatever you want to share. Take as much time as you need. How long have we been on? Like, what, 30 minutes so far?
Already 34 minutes. So, and we have an hour. But yeah, because every day we do see, I mean, can you literally say everything in 1 hour? All the developments that's going on in the market, we have to cherry pick and work with the most impactful ones. But we do read all of these. I mean, I do all these developments, and I have to pick which one to show you guys. But we know there's so much bullish news coming out, and it's just regardless of where the market is, it's all to do with the long-term investments coming into the space. The people, the quality of advice, of experience that they're bringing into this game is definitely going to help us long term. Even though it's for their benefit, we're going to find ways to ride on that and make our gains along the way. But as long as we get the bigger picture that this is another brand new technology, the most transformative technology we've ever seen in our lifetime, then you're on a good spot, and you're ahead of the world's population, because there's still literally billions that do not know anything about Bitcoin, cryptos, people that are literally scared to find out because it looks intimidating from the news, from the mainstream media. But don't be fooled, and doing your due diligence is part of that, to gain as many different voices and opinions as possible, so you can see the truth and come to your own informed opinion. So yeah.
Awesome. So evidently and clearly, Crypto Azzy is a crypto bull, big time bull in the space. Is that fair to say?
Pretty much, because if you look at the evidence and the stats, it's overwhelmingly in favor of the market expanding. So yeah, I'm with it.
Okay, awesome. These are amazing things. So I'm gonna pull up a chart I'm gonna keep this quick. I know I'm gonna try to pull up several charts, but I'm just gonna look at Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum. Maybe I'll just take a look at Ethereum so we could see how things develop. And I think accountability is important. So I'm going to pull up the chart that I shared with Ethereum about a week ago, I think. So it's easy to say, I thought Ethereum was going to do this after it does it. So I want to make sure that the accountability is there, the transparency is there, so everyone can clearly see. And I'm on record. I have videos. I have charts that I posted in this group. Everyone can clearly see how the market developed. And before I pull that up, I want to show people how. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up so we could so I can better illustrate. Give me 1 second here. Let me just pause these alerts. One day I'm gonna pause everything and have everything ready before I go live. One day it's going to happen. Like, you would think after now I would just have it all ready, but you know what? I don't even have to do that because I have the chart saved somewhere. Hold on 1 second. It should be in the group too, but let me just minimize this. Where is that Ethereum chart that I had? I know exactly where it is. Let me get some likes. Let me get some hearts. Let me get some shares. If you guys want to see the charts, let me get that. That'd be pretty cool. I would really appreciate it. And let's see. Where is my Ethereum? Oh, here it is.
Good morning, Eric, Terrence, Wakita,
any questions?
Andrea.
Answer.
Eric, Tanji, Latiara. Yeah, charts. Yes, Marcellus. If you guys want to see the charts, I need you to smash the like, the hearts. Charts.
Man, I cannot find this Ethereum chart. I mean, I could chart it back up, but I don't want to chart it. I don't want to chart it back up because it looks like I'm just doing it to make it fit price. I want to pull it up where I had it. Hold on 1 second.
I'm just going to say good morning while you do that to Joe Eagle, Adrian Barden, Chris Mason, Erica Muse.
Ask them, how are they feeling about the market and its movement right now?
Yeah, how are you guys feeling about that? Where are you standing? What are your thoughts?
All right, so I'm gonna have to take this from here.
Andrea Lewisop, good morning. Michael Lillis, good morning, guys.
All right, give me 1 second, guys.
What do you? Looks good, but I don't trust it. Wait a week, says Daniel Brecksteiner. And good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning, Tariq. Let me see, who else have I got here? Nick Ross, good morning. Okay. Anyone else? What are your thoughts on the market?
All right, so here's the chart that I shared in the video and the chart that I posted as well. So I posted this a while ago, and I shared this as well, so everybody can know that I'm on record. So I said that Ethereum was going to go see 410. So we saw 410 a lot faster than I was anticipating, and it kind of violated some of the things that we've seen in price action. Give me 1 second here.
That's a good look, Chris Mason. He says, I'm so long term, I don't really react to the market. And Adrian Barden says, I'm going to learn today.
All right, so here's the chart that I shared, if you guys remember. And I said that we had some bullish divergence and that I was looking for a buy back up into this 470 to 490 pocket. That was the chart that I actually shared. So it didn't exactly go exactly like that. So let me pull up the chart and show you guys what actually happened. So we're getting there, but that's the whole thing with trading. If trading was easy and everything just happened perfectly, just whenever you anticipate it to happen, we'll all just be multi-billionaires. But it's really just understanding the market, having a plan, having an idea. So the price is getting to my levels eventually. It's just not getting there exactly the way that I wanted to get there, which is fine. So as I trade, sometimes I might have to do a little audible. Sometimes I have to adjust. Sometimes I have to get out of a trade. Sometimes I have to get back into a trade. It just kind of depends on how the market is developing. But I just have an idea, a trade plan, how things will work out. So let me pull this up on TradingView. I have like so many charts up. It's crazy.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me just close all this stuff out.
I was going to say, do you also dream about charts?
Nah. If I'm dreaming about charts, it normally wakes me up and then I can't sleep. And I need to be able to sleep.
Okay. So it's just me and my crypto coins.
Yeah, you're dreaming about crypto. For sure. I'm not dreaming about charts. I'm dreaming about like beef brisket or something. You know what's funny? I don't even eat meat like that anymore. I probably I might have some meat maybe once every other month or once a third month or something like that. But 95% of my diet now has been mostly vegetables.
That's good. You want to join the vegan team vegan?
I don't know, want to be a true vegan, but I want to be mostly vegetable vegan. But I can't call myself a vegan or vegetarian either.
Mm.
All right, so let me just pull this up so I can show you guys this right here. So let me show, and I guess I'll just chart it back up so you guys can see. I mean, why not? So here we are, right? And I'm gonna put that same pattern in. We got to be accountable, right? So let's put that same price pattern in. And we'll go right here, and we'll go right here. That's the exact same price pattern. So if you guys notice, we're getting right back to the top of this channel. So on that last pattern that I gave you guys, it was this right here, that we could sell off or, oh man, why won't you stop? There you go. Or we could break out, retest, and buy. So my bias is still towards the downside. Like I still think we're going to end up selling more than buying. But we can break out here. Even if we broke out here, it still doesn't, it puts us into a good buy, but it doesn't change the trend of the market. So in this type of environment right here, I could really get into this trade and really make some money on the way back up. And maybe we can see, 560 again, even 600 again. Like these things are possible. But it doesn't put us back into a bullish sentiment. So I'm very cognizant and aware. We bought. And remember, guys, this is where I said we have bullish divergence right here at this bar. So we have to be fair, right? I was this bar where we said we had bullish divergence. So what happened? We bought up and we sold back down to that 410. So that we got to that 410 that I said we were going to get, but we didn't get there the way I thought we would get there. And sometimes it's like that, and that's okay. So we got to this. We got to this 410. We tested that area. Then we bought back up. Now we're in the top of this channel right here. Can we break out? Sure we can. Is it possible? Absolutely. How probable is it? It's not the greatest of probabilities, but I'm waiting for it because a breakout is possible, and we can go back up to 550, can go back up to 620. Like, these things are possible. If we reject here, then I'm gonna short it back down to 360, 370. So when I tell people don't get drunk on the bull juice, you have to understand where we are in the market. Like right now, there's somebody saying, "Oh, I told you Ethereum, I told you Ripple, I told you," and that's fantastic. But see, I have a better perspective of where we really are. So this buy came in, that's great. Catch a few points, fantastic. But I'm not loading up on Ethereum until we get out of this channel. I can't responsibly do that. Once we get out of this channel, I'll load up on it. I'll take it to 550. I'll take it to 620, no problem. If we reject, then I'm selling it down to 350, 370. So don't get drunk on the bull juice. I understand everybody wants to feel like everything is over, but this is how money works. This is how money plays, and you could really get hurt if you're not cognizant and aware. If you're a long-term holder, hold, and this whole thing will be behind you, before you know it. If you're trying to make some accumulate like the way I'm accumulating and make some gains here and there, then this is more important to you. So understand where we are, understand what's happening, understand what we're doing. And to be even more fair, I have this channel even like this, I believe. So really, when I first drew it up. So really, I seen us slipping out of the channel a little bit, and then we pop back in. So, this is okay. Like we have time, so I'm extremely patient. I'm extremely disciplined as far as how and where I trade and where I pick my spots. So this isn't a spot for me. Like I'm not going long on Ethereum right here at 473. I'm not going to do that. But if I break out and come back to 475, then yeah, of course, I'm going to take it up. But right now we're in a gray area. The bears are in full control in this area. The bulls have to have a showing. They have to show me that they're going to retake this area. If they don't retake it, I'm giving my money back to the bulls. Bulls meaning the sellers, and I'm selling it back down. So there's a process, there's a psychology, there's a mentality to everything. Very disciplined, very patient. And if you want to catch bottoms and what we call in trading falling knives, where you want to guess the bottom is here, guess the bottom, the top is there, good luck with that. I look for price action. I look for confirmations, and I try to make the best plays possible. So that's where I'm looking at Ethereum. I'm not going to pull a Bitcoin because we're running out of time, and I'm running out of time. I have trading to do, and I have a lot of things going on. I know you got a lot of things going on, but I want to make sure you guys are very cognizant and aware of this, where we are in this market. I got the DU portfolio. When the market was pulling back down, I was talking to Charles, like, are you selling? Like, nah, I'm not selling because I have to make sure the bulls are out of the way. And the bulls didn't show me completely they were out of the way. If we get back to 490 and we start painting some red rejection candles, then that will give me some confidence in addition with other price action confluence that I'm going to look for, that the bulls are done. They're done with their charge and the bears are back. So this is exactly the zone that I spoke on before. This was exactly the pocket that I spoke on before. And I was speaking to a gentleman in another group. He was like, yeah, he was real celebratory. This is exactly where I thought we were going to be. So this is exactly, do I get to my areas exactly when I want to? No. Does price paint in a way that perfectly puts me where I want to be? Sometimes it doesn't. But I have a game plan. And within that game plan, I have, specific moves. So we're right where, 473, 490. I put that everywhere. I blasted that everywhere. You can look at me anywhere. And I said 470 to 490. When we started selling back off over here, that's when I pulled over and did that live video. And I went and I took profits. I was profitable here. I made money on this sale. But I said in that live video that I'm going very gingerly. I'm going very small in my positions because I don't trust this sell-off because we sold off too hard. And what happened? Lo and behold, we bounced back up. So guys, like these things are evolving in a healthy way. I'm going to continue to watch price. I'm going to continue to let it evolve and develop. I'm not going to go crazy. If you break 490, I'm still not going to go crazy. I'm going to let it fly up to 500, 510, whatever. I'm going to let it pull back because there has to be a pullback, and then I'm going to buy back up with it. So no matter what happens in price, if I'm wrong, I'm going to try to be profitable, even if I'm wrong. Meaning, so if I have the wrong idea, I'm not committed to my idea. I'm a adjust with price, and I'm going to change my ideas as price develops, and then say, okay, well, hey, I thought we would have sold here, but we're clearly buying, so I'm going to buy. At the end of the day, try to get as much profits and as much crypto as possible. So we're still holding our positions in the DU. I didn't liquidate it because I was anticipating this. If we reject from this 490 area, then I'm going to liquidate the positions in the DU, and we're going to take it down to 350, 370. So just be aware, guys. Just be aware. Man, crypto's here to stay. We have a few plays to make. Be aware what those plays may be. We could rocket ship out of here. We could bounce down. So I'm waiting. I'm not a fortune reader. I wish I had the magic ball, but I do have levels that I trust and respect, and I will be waiting for this level to be tested and rejected or broken, and my money will be on the map. I promise you that. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to keep sharing my information and keep sharing my analysis and keep sharing this journey with you guys. So I'm just doing Ethereum for today because I spoke on Ethereum quite heavily in the last video. Later tonight, we're going to really get into this analysis. We're going to do some important things. We're going to do some important things. We're going to do some important things. And guys, y'all should be really scared about this pump because y'all know turnaround Tuesdays. Y'all know about turnaround Tuesday. Turnaround Tuesday has really became turnaround Thursday. So instead of turning around on Tuesdays, we're turning around on Thursdays. So pump, and then the 6th of the month is also coming. So if we're going up and the 6th of the month comes and we get that turnaround Thursday, the timing is more probable for us to sell off again and sell hard. So don't get drunk on the bull juice. Don't get drunk on the bull juice. Follow me, pay attention. Maybe we break out, but maybe we don't. Don't be emotional investors. Be informed investors. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm giving information. You do your own due diligence. You make your own decisions. Y'all are big boys and big girls.
So, Yusuf, I have a question from Nick Ross. He says, as an investor, should I be looking at weekly and daily charts instead of hourly and so on?
Yeah, if you're long-term investing daily, look at the daily chart.
Okay, so Terrence Mack asks, is this just a temporary bounce?
I don't know. I don't know, but I will find out within the next 2 to 3 days.
And Nick Ross had also asked, I did not buy this weekend, so now I don't know if I should wait any longer. Yeah,
you guys, you don't have to be at the bottom of price. Like if we break out and you get in at 490, let's just say you get in at 490, for example. I mean, you could take it to 550, 620. Like there's so much money on the table. Like it's all right.
Yeah, I think he repeated, Nick Ross had repeated the same question beforehand. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, I like the name, Stepping Into My Greatness. Any good books to learn how to read charts?
Yeah, this is what I read. Honestly, not really. I mean, yeah, there is, but really what really helped me understand charts was being mentored. That really helped me. And being in the market, making money, losing money. That's really what helped me the most, to be honest. I mean, I have to say no, to be honest. I have to say no. Unless you have a really high degree of aptitude of comprehension, which most people don't. Maybe you do, but most people don't. Most likely you're not going to really take on to that unless you're being tutored, mentored, and taught price in an effective way. But, you know, there's books that claim to, so I don't know.
And Terrence Mack had asked, Yusuf was MIA on Friday. How you feeling, man?
Man, listen. I had, you know, like I said before, like I'm mostly vegan, right? So It was one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go get some Chinese food. And look, the Woodlands Mall, y'all look it up. Nice. I didn't go to no bodega, and I went to the Woodlands Mall, clean, pristine. Cause I'm gonna get me a little Chinese food, bro. I'm telling you, I was so hurt. Like all night, all morning, I was in pain. Nothing. Oh man, it was like, and I don't like throwing up. Like it's the worst feeling in the world. Like I hate throwing up, but there was nothing I could do. I mean, it was all bad, but I just didn't eat anything. I drank water, let my body kind of self-detox. I'm doing some water fasting this week. I'm gonna be water fasting for maybe 2 to 3 days at a time and just let my body cleanse and detox. And then, but I'm back and I'm a soldier. I'm a Spartan, man. I'm a Super Saiyan. Like this is what I have to do. So even when I was sick, I did a meeting with Charles, and it was a really important meeting. And I was so hurt, but I was like crawling, like just trying to barely survive the meeting. It was all bad. And then Charles wanted to talk after the meeting. I'm like, nah, man, nah, I gotta go. I gotta go. Yeah, it was bad, but my commitment to you guys is really unwavering. So, however, I need to be available, and I'm gonna try to do that. So unless my head is just missing, I'm gonna try to be here.
I mean, also on that day, the long-term research took more than an hour to deliver. So obviously, with me covering fundamentals, it made sense for me to take over that.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool, Asmeret. I am about to go. What do I have to do today? I'm actually going to the Hope Center down here in Houston, Texas, like a little community center. So I'm gonna be down there doing a little bit of work. I was supposed to be there at 11, so I'm actually running late. So I might go live from there. Yeah, I might go live from there. See, I can kind of see where I grew up a little bit. Southside Houston, Texas, 3rd Ward. Where's my boy Chaz? Chaz know. If he's watching, he knows. So I go down there. I go to my area of where I was raised at least once a month, once every other month, and just try to, participate, give back, help people, stay connected, stay grounded. That's important to me. So, and there's so much love down there too. Anybody that comes from what I would consider the hood or impoverished areas and has, I don't want to glamorize it, but has some type of reputation or aptitude for endearment down there. And I'm using coded words. If y'all know what I'm saying, y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know it's love down there. So when I go back to that area, I get plenty love, plenty love. So I like going down, helping people out. And some of the most intellectual people that I ever met my entire life come from those areas. So I love giving back resources and helping people develop and take control of their lives. So that's important to me.
That's amazing. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We actually did 1 hour straight.
We actually were on time. Like,
we're on time, guys.
I didn't go on a rant. You didn't go on a rant. Like, I gotta give you something. Like, we actually did our thing. No rants today. You sure you don't want to do a rant real quick? Because we can rant for like 15 minutes about something. What do you want to complain about?
I'm good. I might even, you'll see. I've got a little surprise for those that are following the Crypto Walk-In page. So stay tuned.
Cool, guys. Well, till the next time.
Peace.
Later.
Bye.